We now have joining us via Zoom Mutiu, Akinsanya, legal practitioner and public affairs analyst, to speak with us on some recent upset at the election tribunals. Thank you for speaking with us. And now, the tribunal judgments in the past 2 weeks have recorded some major upsets. The Nasarawa State Governor this afternoon was unseated. The Kano State Governor suffered a similar fate about a week ago. There seems to be an aura of unpredictability surrounding these judgments. Is there consistency with the law and jurisprudence in these verdicts?
Thank you very much for having me. Let me begin by giving a caveat. I have not had the opportunity of reading the judgment that was delivered today. So what I will be speaking on this evening will be based on my knowledge of the law and the snippets that has been reported by various media outfits. It's important to note that after every election, the judiciary will always have a chance to look at the evidence that parties have submitted before it. And it is based on those evidence that the tribunal will decide whether the candidate that was announced by INEC had majority of lawful votes cast. And in this particular situation, the Nasarawa State situation, what the tribunal found was that Governor Abdullahi Sule did not win majority of lawful votes cast. And you would also see that it is only 2 members of the tribunal that held so, with 1 dissenting view. But of course, it does not mean that Dr. Abdullahi Sule would leave the seat of governor. He still has the next 21 days to appeal. And if he fails to appeal, or if he refuses to appeal within the next 21 days, he will have no choice than to vacate the seat of the governor of Nasarawa State.
Now, looking at the fact that the tribunal held that David Ombogado of the PDP had proved his case that his actual votes were unjustifiably reduced, while that of Abdullahi Sule of the APC was increased to 8 Sule to victory. Can this meticulous proven case be reversed at the appeal court?
So there is nothing that is impossible. We have seen instances where the decisions of the tribunal has been overturned at the Court of Appeal. You will recall that the Osun State gubernatorial election had a similar fate. The decision of the tribunal was overturned at the Court of Appeal and even at the Supreme Court. So there is nothing that is impossible. The justices of the Court of Appeal will still have a chance to look at the evidence that all of the parties brought before the tribunal. And they will have the opportunity of reviewing it to see whether the decision of the members of the tribunal was correctly entered.
Now, those that have lost cases have alluded to there being miscarriage of justice, while we are seeing judgments being delivered virtually. Why is it difficult for political actors to accept verdicts in good faith, and lawyers to be blamed for spurring their clients to appeal cases despite very detailed reasons given for such verdicts?
Okay, it's important to note that in appealing decisions of the courts of first instance, the tribunal in this case is a right that is constitutionally given to all of the parties. So I see really nothing wrong in the candidates who lost at the tribunal deciding to appeal. It's their right to appeal. But what is then wrong is, or are situations where they speak against the judiciary in unbecoming manners, or where they use words to disparage the judiciary or the tribunal. That is what we must all condemn. But it is their right to appeal, and they can appeal to the Court of Appeal and even up to the Supreme Court.
All right, finally, before we let you go, how would you rate these judgments, and seeing that most cases are heading for appeal? What does that say about the strength of laws guiding elections in this country?
And there is no doubt that our laws can still be improved upon. We hope to see a day where candidates will not even go to court. We hope to see a time in this country where INEC will accept results, will announce results, and such results will be acceptable to all Nigerians and to all of the candidates. Our laws are growing, and we have to keep improving on them. And one very important point I would also like to make is the issue of the virtual hearing. There's been debates on whether these judgments that have been delivered virtually are constitutional or not. And at this time, we will have expected the National Assembly to have also done a lot to amend the Constitution, particularly Section 36 of the Constitution, to also encompass virtual hearing that has become part and parcel of our judicial system. So our laws are growing, and we can only improve on what we have now.
All right, we were speaking there with Mutiu Akinsanya, legal practitioner on Election Tribunal Judgment. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us this evening on NewsHour.
My pleasure. Thank you.